Hi, what's going on everyone? Hope you are all having a great day. Now, the James Bond trailer just dropped and I have to speak on it because as you may know, I am British, I'm from London, England, and James Bond is like a cultural icon to us over here in England. So I'm playing Call of Duty right now on the Piccadilly stage. It makes perfect sense because Piccadilly, it's in the centre of London. It's quite an iconic area. So popular, in fact, that quite a few games recently have been taken on designing game maps in that area. And I'm going to do a separate video vlog on this actually, because you have Devil May Cry, the new Watch Dogs, and of course Call of Duty. So I'll do a video on that separate sometime soon. But anyway, this gameplay, I mainly use the sniper for most of it, and it is on kill confirmed hardcore mode. I'm not too sure why it was on hardcore. I don't know how that filter was in my playlist of game modes that I play on Call of Duty, but either way, it's quite a decent game, and it makes sense for the backdrop for what I'm going to talk about with this James Bond trailer that dropped. So the movie is No Time to Die, and it is apparently, I'm pretty sure, Daniel Craig's final James Bond movie. Now, I didn't even realize it, but Daniel Craig has done, I think, how many James Bonds? It's he did Casino Royale, Quantum of Solace, Spectre, Skyfall, and now No Time to Die. So this will be his 5th James Bond, and I'm ecstatic about it because for me, he has been the best James Bond in my opinion. Best James Bond. He embodied James Bond as good as any, and he's just a lot more relatable. He gets to go through turmoil and overthrow those kinds of challenges and hurdles, and you see a bit more of his development into his character as James Bond, as James Bond is a superhero but not a superhero, just a realistic hero, if that makes sense. He has taken on the role to such high levels that it's akin to how, for example, Heath Ledger took the Joker, or Joaquin Phoenix has taken the Joker role as well. Like, it's really expounded on it and they've made it their own roles, and it's just been fantastic viewing for us fans of these genres of movies and these characters in these movies. So Daniel Craig has done that for years, since Casino Royale up to now, and I didn't even know there was going to be another one, because Daniel Craig was doing interviews here and there saying that he's not going to do another James Bond, and you know, he's moving on from that, blah blah blah. So for them to convince him to do one last one is fantastic, and I'm really ecstatic about it, because I was looking into buying the box set of the Daniel Craig James Bonds, and I don't know, I just held off on it, and I'm glad I did, because when I buy a box set of something, regardless of what it is, whether it's Game of Thrones, whether it's the Batman series starring Christian Bale, movies, or whatever, I want the complete set. So if I did buy the whole James Bond set, it would have just been from Casino Royale up to Spectre, which is the fourth, and then now all of a sudden No Time to Die will be launching, so therefore I'd have a individual copy of that to add to the set. I prefer to have the whole set as one. So now I'll be able to do that when they do a new box set, which I will do a unboxing for, I guess sometime late next year, I would assume, because this movie comes out in, let me double check the date, April 2nd for us in England. So pretty much April is the release date worldwide. I'm really happy. From what I saw of the trailer, it looks fantastic. It looks like quintessential James Bond. Everything you would expect from a Daniel Craig James Bond. There's love interest in there. There's action sequences. There's no big action sequences from what we saw from the trailer. But there was some set plays that looked like, wow, like the part where he jumps off the bridge. That looked kind of like, how the fuck did they do that? That looked sick. And then you have the female cast that will play a role. The new 00 agent Naomi Lasana Lynch, And then One of my favorite characters, Léa Seydoux.
I have a question.
Well, what's that?
Why, given every other possible option, does a man choose the life of a paid assassin?
Well, it was that or the priesthood.
Reprising her role as well from the Spectre movie, Naomi Harris, and the new M, Ralph Fiennes, and not to mention Felix Leiter, who is gonna be back, played as Jeffrey Wright. This is all looking like quintessential Bond to me. With all those roles that have been casted, all these actors that are all reprising their roles, it just adds the continuation on from the series, especially from the last movie, which is good. It just ties them all in together, which makes it even more exciting to see what is going to happen in this particular movie, No Time to Die. And they showed just enough in the trailer to get me intrigued, excited, in anticipation for what's to come in this illustration of James Bond in No Time to Die. And of course, Ben Whishaw as Q. But Rami Malek is a great casting as well as the new villain for this movie. Everyone knows him from Mr. Robot, which was a hit series. I never actually got a chance to watch it. Whenever I tried to watch it, something always came up, but it was very popular and he looks like a villain, and that's the main thing for me. And from the trailer, it seems as though he's taking up the reins from Christopher Waltz, Ernest, character from Spectre, and part that he says, which kind of leads into some kind of indication as to what kind of role Rami Malek may be playing or taken up upon, would be the part where he says history isn't kind to men who play God, which kind of goes without saying in a way, because most villains kind of tend to take that kind of approach to like try to create something that is evil, that can destroy the world, or that can destroy something or whatever. That's just whatever. That's just like a cool thing to say as a part of the trailer. So there's a lot of things lead to a more opening of Léa Seydoux's character and her background, because it seems as though she's been hiding some kind of secrets, and we're going to find out what they are, if they are even that significant, because it seems as though they're significant in terms of where this movie direction is going and the connection between that and Ernest, the previous villain, Christopher Waltz, who is in this as well. So we're going to find out all these things. But overall, it was exciting enough for me to definitely go and see it. I did see Spectre when it premiered, so I will be doing the same thing with this movie in April next year when it comes out. And even the Aston Martin in this, it looked really cool and spiced up with the guns coming from the headlights and things like that. So it looked like Q has been busy creating this moderated version of the Aston Martin for James Bond. Personally, I like the Aston Martin, the V8 from the Casino Royale, and even the one in Skyfall. That was kind of cool actually. But regardless, it just all ties in line with quintessential Daniel Craig. So I'm really hopeful that it lives up to the previous movies. The trailer was excellent. It had just about enough of everything in there not to be able to spoil anything for the audience. And you know how in trailers you can kind of piece some things together, like you can kind of figure out how did James Bond get under the ice? Oh, it must be due to the scene where he was in the gathering, everyone was just standing and just staring, or it is in conjunction with the part where he jumps off the bridge. Like, there was none of that. You can't really piece things together basically and think, okay, this leads to that, that leads to that. No, you couldn't do that with this trailer. And you know, when it comes to trailers of this kind of level, you expect that anyway. So there was just about enough things there to keep you enticed. And I was enticed and hyped by what I was seeing in the trailer. And I'm going to say it now, I think Georgia Smith should be the lead singer performer for the soundtrack for this movie. I hope it's her. I think she's extremely talented, and if you know of her music, you will know the same thing. She could get it. I think she should get it, and I think it will be perfect, especially if she comes with something like Blue Lights or I Am King. One of those tracks in particular, that will fit James Bond perfectly well, but we shall see. That's another thing that happens with each James Bond. There's a lot of odds and bets placed on who will play the role for the soundtrack for the movie. So that is another big thing. I hope Georgia Smith gets it, personally. Yeah, that is No Time to Die, James Bond, Daniel Craig's last outing. Tell me what you guys thought of the trailer, if you've seen it, if you like James Bond, and I'll catch you all in the next video. Peace out.